I'm about to go into business for myself, to become self-employed, to work for myself. The type of business will be the construction of new residential single-family homes within Philadelphia. That's the plan. As things now stand, that's the goal, which may end up changing somewhat as time goes on. One piece of advice I have been given during an informal meet and greet was to not do what it is I say I'm about to do. That I should start off smaller scale, such as taking an existing structure and rehabbing it, rather than trying to build from the ground up, because there being so much to creating a structure which does not presently exist, which is good advice that I'm not discounting. But for the time being, I'm following with the original intention to build anew, from the ground up. Should that turn out to be more than can possibly be done by someone such as myself and where I am, then I have the option to roll back to what had been suggested by others. What I am admitting to is having zero experience in this type of field, none whatsoever. Also, age-wise, I'm in the category of 70 plus, which may seem like an additional disadvantage, due to the fact that most who tread a similar path are half my age or younger. To that, the only thing I can say is, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all turns out. Not only am I without any experience in the building industry, I also have no experience at even being a business owner or formally going into business with anyone else. So when it comes to beginning with a clean slate, you can't get any cleaner slate than my own. No one can build a business from scratch, having that business being successful, and do it all in the blink of an eye. It takes time, preparation, and planning. That is where you, my viewing audience, comes in, albeit as merely passive observers. Because one of the things I will be focusing on in giving birth to this business idea will be to create a visual record of it, a journal of it, in the form of a video diary. Most of you know a lot of business owners. Did any of them ever show you their business plan? If they are successful and making lots of money, any idea how they got to do so well? I'm going to show you everything. Whatever mistakes I make along the way, I'll show it to you. There are a million YouTube clips about how to succeed in business for yourself. A million of them. Yet, you never really get to see how they did it while it was happening. At the most, it's like a brief recap or summary. I'm not going to spare any of the details. Regardless as to how much you like me as a person and have been following my previous clips on other topics, you might not find every single episode of this series interesting. For example, one of the key areas marketing a business is to establish an online presence in the form of a website. The majority of people who are involved in a business startup will hire someone else to create the website for them. Either that, or using one of these simple plug-and-play platforms which make it easy to throw together the website basics. I'm different. I believe in hand coding when it comes to such things as website building. Just about everyone I know, and probably everyone you know as well, none of them are interested in coding a website. Quite the contrary. They are repulsed by it. So if you happen to observe me going off on a tangent in an episode about something to do with coding, you might want to chalk it up as me being me and simply skip over those sections, because you are not obligated to sit through every single segment I upload to do with this startup, regardless as to how much you like some of the stuff I've posted in the past. But I will add this. With such mundane topics as coding aside, it is my intention to make recordings on this topic interesting, as interesting to the viewer as it will be for me as the one who is stepping through this journey. A lot of people fantasize about going into business for themselves. It is like a fleeting dream of possibly doing it someday. So in a way you can say, I'm living out a fantasy. The reason a lot of people never get beyond the dream stage of it is because it is not easy. In many ways, it is downright hard, due to the amount of time, attention, and in some regards money, which has to be invested in it, in which there is no guarantee of a successful outcome. Particularly if you are black. Because if you are black, then building a business happens just about all the time in isolation. I have family members who know and care about me. None of them are a part of this business venture. I have long-term friends who know and care about me as well. None of them are a part of this business venture either. So, straight out of the gate, I'm accepting of the fact that it is only me, and may remain just me for the foreseeable future. One of the advantages I can say I have developed is that I did not simply wake up one morning and say, I think I'm going to go into business for myself. By the same token, I also did not leap into it head first. I gave myself ample lead time in order to begin networking with others, becoming affiliated with organizations, some of which are builder specific, in order to rub shoulders with people who are already experienced in the industry. At the same time, also becoming affiliated with organizations which are specific to black entrepreneurs, which I can say has been a morale boost in more ways than one. So not being able to draw strength for this enterprise from family members and long-term friends has not become a showstopper for me, or even a speed bump. And I will be doing honorable mentions about some of the organizations I've become involved with and rely on to keep me focused on my vision. I don't have family members and long-term friends to depend on to be my cheerleader, which some may seem like a significant disadvantage. However, I try to be optimistic and look on the bright side of things. Obviously, I can't do this all by not at least communicating my ideas to others. So what you would want to know is, where could there possibly be any advantages in not having those traditional support structures in place? The answer is in new people, new acquaintances, new blood. People who, at the beginning of this year, had no idea I existed, or I them. That is where something like a video journal plays a critical role, because I get to share those experiences about meeting such and such, or a chance encounter with so-and-so. And they are not all going to be fellow builders and aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm talking significant role players as well, such as accountants, construction attorneys, and lenders. A lot of us new business owners suffer from tunnel vision because we have specific targets in our sights. Due to our tunnel vision, we affiliate with only those who move us closer to that target. Take the Philadelphia chapter of the African American Chamber of Commerce, for example. I had a discussion with a person who at one time was high up within that organization. I was directing my questions to him. I said, as a soon-to-be black builder, is it worth my time becoming involved in the African American Chamber of Commerce? That person was equally direct in their response, telling me exactly what that organization is about. It did not take long for me to conclude that I didn't think the African American Chamber of Commerce would be a good fit for me and the direction I am heading in. Since that time, I've done a complete about-face because of the way I will be putting together the website for my business, contemplating including repository information, It will seem like a noticeable oversight to not say anything at all about the African American Chamber of Commerce, which goes to show me sometimes I have to make up my own mind about certain things. In conclusion, I will say this. I've already mentioned some of the things it takes to begin the building blocks of starting a business, such as time, attention, and money. It's going to take a lot, and almost none of it will be easy. But I'm going to add in one more key word, which is typically not a word to ever be associated with someone going into business for themselves. I know I've never heard it uttered in anyone else's vocabulary with business startups. That word is fun. I want this to be a fun journey, as entertaining for viewers as it will be for me experiencing it. Like the old saying goes, getting there is half the fun. Well, let's see what I can do to make it more than half.